New York Mets 2024 season recap. A magical turnaround fueled by Lindor, Vientos, and a purple cosmic presence. 2024 record, 89-73. Third place, NL East. Team ERA, 3.96, 15th in MLB. Team Ops, .734, 9th in MLB. What went right? The 2024 Mets season looked bleak early on. At 24-34 on June 1, they seemed to be heading toward another lost year. But a dramatic shift in June, sparked by a purple McDonald's mascot, yes, grimace, and some key lineup changes, brought about a season-defining turnaround. Francisco Lindor turned his underwhelming start, .195, .268, .362 through May 18, into an MVP-caliber season. Finishing with 33 hours, 29 SBs, 107 runs, 91 RBIs, and in .844 ops over 152 games. His 137 WRC+ was the best of his career and marked a huge improvement from his Cleveland days. Lindor's move to the leadoff spot and his eventual surge helped propel the Mets into a more potent offense. Mark Vientos became a revelation at third base, earning a regular spot after his promotion. Vientos posted in .837 ops and hit 27 home runs over 111 games, finishing strong with 5 homers and 14 RBIs in the postseason. He was one of the key catalysts of the Mets' magical run. José Iglesias, who took over as a regular in June, finished with a .337 batting average, best in MLB among players with 250+ PA, and set a new career-high .830 ops. His consistency and clutch play, paired with his viral hit single, OMG, featuring Pitbull, made him one of the season's most surprising and beloved players. The pitching staff, led by Sean Manaea, who had a career-best season, and an unlikely mix of contributors like Luis Severino, David Peterson, and José Quintana, performed far beyond expectations. Manaea's 181 2/3 innings and 13 quality starts helped stabilize the rotation, with Severino and Quintana also contributing solid performances. Peterson, recovering from hip surgery, finished with a 2.91 ERA in 21 starts. What went wrong? While there wasn't much to criticize outright, some players had disappointing or inconsistent seasons. Kodai Senga struggled with injuries throughout the season, including shoulder issues and a calf strain. His year was essentially lost, but the Mets hope he will bounce back for 2025. Edwin Diaz, though still effective overall, had a rough stretch in May and August, losing the closer role after some blown saves. However, his final ERA, 3.52, and strikeout rate, 38.9%, suggest his struggles were more bad luck than bad performance. Players like Pete Alonso, Brandon Nimmo, and Francisco Álvarez had their ups and downs. Alonso was solid but not quite at his peak. Nimmo battled injuries in the second half, and Álvarez's growth was uneven. Fantasy outlook. Francisco Lindor remains one of the most stable fantasy assets, offering 30-30 potential with the durability to play 162 games a year. He's a top 20 pick in most formats. Mark Vientos could be a sleeper pick in fantasy drafts, offering significant power potential, but with some risk due to his high strikeout rate and one-dimensional profile. Kodai Senga remains a high upside starting pitcher but will need to overcome his injuries to fulfill his potential. He's likely to be a top 40 SP. Pete Alonso's struggles with strikeouts and swing mechanics raise questions, especially with his free agency on the horizon. Still, his power keeps him a must-own in most leagues. Brandon Nimmo's injury-prone nature and second-half collapse make him a more volatile fantasy pick. But his ability to contribute across all categories when healthy keeps him valuable. Edwin Diaz, despite a less-than-dominant season, remains a top-tier closer and should be considered a high-end option once again. Key free agents: Pete Alonso, Sean Manaea, Luis Severino, Jesse Winker, Harrison Bader, José Iglesias, J.D. Martinez, José Quintana, Brooks Rowley, Ryan Stanek, Phil Maton, Drew Smith. Team needs pitching depth, with several free agents in the rotation and bullpen. The Mets need to rebuild their pitching staff around Kodai, Senga and a few key contributors. Adding arms, particularly starting pitchers, is a top priority. Juan Soto. The Mets are rumored to be targeting Juan Soto, which would give them one of the most potent lineups in baseball. The presence of Soto could significantly impact the future of Pete Alonso, especially with Alonso entering free agency. Infield and outfield depth, with the potential of adding Soto and the current uncertainty around the free agents. The Mets will need to balance roster flexibility and depth. With the ability to spend big due to Steve Cohen's ownership, they have the resources to add impact players in both the rotation and lineup. Looking ahead, despite a rocky start, the Mets put together an exciting 2024 season, propelled by stellar performances from Lindor, Vientos, and a surprisingly effective pitching staff. The offseason will be crucial, with several key free agents to address, including the fate of Pete Alonso and the potential addition of Juan Soto. With the richest owner in baseball backing them, the Mets should be contenders again in 2025, if they can continue to build around their young core and add the right pieces.